Hello, this is Chris Kobe with the League of Women Voters of Portland. You are watching the Video Voters Guide or listening to our podcast. We are here today to talk with candidates running in the May 17, 2022 primary election. All of the candidates running for this position in the primary election were invited by the League to participate. We asked the candidates for the same office, the same questions. The number of questions asked is determined by the length of the candidate's answers. In this process, we are grateful for the support of the Carol and Velma Sailing Foundation, the League of Women Voters of Portland Education Fund, the Weiss Foundation, and our media partner, Metro East Community Media. With me is Terri Riggsby, candidate for Metro Council, District 6, which includes Southwest Portland, south of Interstate 405, a small portion of Washington County, and Southeast Portland, south of Interstate 84 to 122nd Avenue. Welcome, Ms. Riggsby.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's really great to be here.
Please tell us a little about yourself and why you're running for this office.
All right, and I just want to express gratitude to League of Women Voters for offering this opportunity for us to engage with voters. So I moved to Portland about 25 years ago, and I immediately fell in love with the city and also the easy proximity to natural resources, hiking out in Mount Hood or going out to the ocean. And I was able to find a really, a decent job, but more importantly, an affordable apartment in a safe neighborhood. And I think like many of my neighbors, I've really seen our area become progressively less livable. So I am running for Metro District 6 to bring greater accountability and transparency to our government, to work on cleaning up our environment, and to continue my work as a disabilities advocate. So I'm a government accountability expert, excuse me. I've served as a senior performance auditor under 3 Oregon Secretaries of State, and I'll use my skills to ensure that our tax dollars are used wisely at Metro, particularly as Metro is implementing its affordable housing and housing services bond measures. And Metro serves 2.5 million people and has over $3 billion in our tax dollars. And we really need to make sure that we have measurable outcomes and that Metro and its partners are delivering. I also have over 20 years of experience as an environmental leader, serving for 16 years as an elected director and now chair of the West Multnomah Soil and Water Conservation District, and about 23 years with the Trine Creek Watershed Council. So I have a deep commitment and proven experience in getting work done on the ground and building partnerships and collaborating with other nonprofits and governments from city, county, state, and federal agencies. And I'll continue this work as we identify regional solutions to our environmental issues here. And lastly, I live with a mobility disability, and I know firsthand how difficult it is for us to access public infrastructure. And we do not have anyone right now with a mobility disability serving at the city, county, or metro level, although 75% of us will experience a temporary or permanent disability during our lifetime. So I think it's time that our voices are heard and that we have that lived perspective and experience at the table while we're making decisions for the next several decades of our future public infrastructure. Thank you.
You are listening to the Video Voter Guide interview and podcast of Terri Riggsby, candidate for Metro Council, District 6. What measures should be taken to help taxpayers understand how housing bond and supportive housing services funds are spent, and whether outcomes meet goals?
Mm-hmm. Well, with my background as an auditor, I really appreciate establishing measurable outcomes and goals, and then identifying whether or not we've achieved those. So I think first, Metro needs to be very clear in how much money they have and what their role is. They are a convening regional government agency. So they distribute the funds to local implementing agencies like our counties to actually build the new affordable housing and to deliver those supportive housing services. So I would work with our counties in particular to ensure that they have the right information about who is homeless and the specific needs that they have, whether it's someone fleeing domestic violence or someone with a mental illness issue, identify who has those problems, and then make sure that we're building programs that are tailored to address those specific issues. And I would make that information easily and readily available to our taxpayers and the people that live and work in the metro region.
What measures should be taken to preserve and effectively utilize our industrial land supply in order to support a growing economy? What would be your explanation there?
Well, I really appreciate this question. I've been working with the agriculture community through soil and water conservation districts for almost 20 years. And not only is our industrial land really important, but our agricultural land is too. And that's what makes our region so special, and metro in particular, because we have this urban growth boundary. And so we recognize that we must preserve industrial land and agricultural land to support our local economy and have good paying jobs, but also some of the agricultural land and natural areas can and should be preserved for environmental purposes. So I would make sure that any decisions about the urban growth boundary focus our efforts to ensuring that where we're increasing the boundaries, we are paying close attention to where we need additional housing, and that housing is located near infrastructure, including transportation and other public services like schools and jobs. Because if we're building housing that's far away from a job center, that's really not smart urban planning. And if we make those smart decisions on how and where to grow, then we can continue to preserve our industrial land and make sure that that is zoned for industrial purposes so that we have that available to us. We are a port city, and we have industrial we have industry here that requires that particular type of land to be available so that we can keep that portion of our economy sustained and healthy.
Thank you, Ms. Preeg Riggsby. This concludes our video voters guide and podcast interview of Terri Preeg Riggsby, candidate for Metro Council, District 6. Election Day is Tuesday, May 17. Thank you for informing yourself about the candidates and for exercising your right to vote. For more information on the primary election and this race, visit our websites, vote411.org and lwvpdx.org. Thank you for your interest.